With great love, I welcome everyone to today's talks. With this pandemic, this has shown how fragile the human mind is and how unprepared we are as a society to deal with uncertainty. The mental health issues, depression, fear, anxiety has multiplied over the past 6 to 8 months tremendously all over the globe. And I wonder why, as humanity, as a society, why are we so ill prepared mentally? So, obviously, there is a physical constraint in understanding the virus or the scientific advancement. But what about mentally? Why this upheaval can cause us to rapidly descend into all these negative states: anxiety, fear, depression, pain, phobias. And I myself have suffered from this anxiety. So, those who have been coming for the talks for a long time now, I've shared my struggle with anxiety. I had relentless, horrendous anxiety for years. And the only thing which helped me manage the anxiety was escaping it. And I think escape is the default mode for humanity itself. It's a very destructive mode because it never gives us the solution. It just postpones the discomfort. So instead of facing the discomfort now, I'll face it after 2 hours or 4 hours or 1 year or whatever. And I escaped this anxiety continuously for years. And I've seen people do that through games, video games, or Netflix, or relationships, sex, drugs, whatever helps them. But is escape the answer? And I think all this escape, now with the pandemic, there's no way to escape it. It's staring on your face. You either resolve it, you face it, but you can't escape it. That uncertainty, that fear, that pain, that depression, that loneliness. And that's where we see how fragile the human mind is. How easy it is to. So, sorry, I have to manage the microphones and the participants, admit them. So, how difficult or how easy it is for the mind to break. And what's the solution here? So, for me, I escaped this anxiety for years and years and years. And all the while, it was getting worse. And then one fine day, I said, escape is not an option. There has to be some other way. How long will I postpone it? And this escape is like a slow poison for the system. You're dying bit by bit every day. You're suffering and dying bit by bit. You think maybe a bit of TV or a relationship will numb that pain. It does numb the pain temporarily. But that anxiety, that pain, that fear, that phobia, that depression is just there like a monster ready to just come back. So I said to myself, I will not escape this. And even though it was very terrifying for me, for the first time I sat with it. I gave it space. I let it be instead of escaping it, or instead of modifying it. So the other form of dealing with all these emotions, negative emotion, is to modify them. Try to replace them with positive emotions or do something which will bring down the intensity of it. And the main idea behind this is I don't want this state. The state is too uncomfortable. Hence, I will either escape it or modify it. And I said both the things have not worked for me for years. So I sat down with it. I didn't modify it. I didn't want it to go away. I didn't say, oh, I don't want it. It's so uncomfortable. It's so much of pain. What am I going to do? I'm going to lose control and I'm going to go down and spiral down. I said, let me see what happens. Will I really spiral down? Or is it another trick of the ego trying to tell me not to deal with it? So, for the first time, when I sat down with that pain, I sat down with that anxiety and discomfort, something amazing happened. The anxiety was still there, but the constant conflict and the struggle to run away from it was gone. And that's a huge amount of energy. I just realized how much energy I was putting in to make these states go away, to just say, I don't want them, they have to go away, they're not good, they're uncomfortable, or whatever. So, that conflict, that constant struggle of not wanting something which is present all the time, that conflict for the first time I could observe subsided. And that was a huge relief. So even though I still could see anxiety, but I was okay with it. I was fine with it. I didn't want it to go away. I didn't want to modify it. I didn't want to change it. For the first time, I was observing it. I was watching it. I was giving it space, which was frankly not a good experience in the sense it was terrifying. You don't want to feel those anxiety feelings or whatever feelings you're feeling, and that's why we're escaping them all the while. And so I did this for some days. And then one day when I was sitting with this, a radical thought came to my mind, which I had not read in any of the books or any of the paths or teachers. And the thought was, so first I was escaping them, now I'm observing them. And now there was a thought which came to my mind was, can I actually love my anxiety? And when that thought came in, it seemed like a very weird and stupid and thought which was like, are you crazy? But I went along with it. And I realized all my life I have labeled this thing as something negative, something bad, something which should not be there, something which is not right with me. And that was an internal assessment, a perception of one of these emotions which were arising in me. But who told me to feel like that? Why was I feeling like that? Why can't I welcome them? It is just an uncomfortable feeling. It's not that someone is holding a gun to my head and I'm going to be shot at. It is an emotion, a thought arising in my body mind complex. So instead of labeling it, and observing it, I did something very different. I welcomed it as a friend. I said, "You're here. You have been here for so many years. You've never left me, and it seems like I will never be able to escape you. Why can't we be friends? Or why can't I even love you?" And in that moment, I could see the very roots of that anxiety which was coming up. All this anxiety and fear and phobia and depression is there for a reason. There's something unresolved. On one level, you know what it is. You know what you're escaping. You know why you're feeling sad and depressed about. On some level, we are conscious of it. But when you go deeper, you can uncover the very roots and say, okay, this is the reason, this was what I was feeling, and this is why it has not resolved all these years. This pain, this fear. And in that moment, something more incredible happened for me. I could see all these emotions as thoughts as something different from me. So, what I mean to say is, right now, if I can see my hand, I know this is my hand, these are my fingers, but this is not me or the whole of me. This is a part of me. This finger is a part of me. It's not me in the sense, it's not complete me, it's just a part. Similarly, this fear and anxiety and all these mental states, they were not me. I could perceive them. I gave them reality. But just like my finger is not me, though it's a part of me. So you have to understand they are a part of you. I'm not saying they're not a part of you. They are a part of you, but they are not you unless you totally identify with them. So I could see that all these thoughts arise, and I am the perceiver of the thoughts. I am not this thought. I am not my depression. I am not my anxiety. I'm separate from it. I can observe it. I can watch it. I can choose to identify with them and create a story around them, and then be completely encased in that story. Or I could watch them, I could observe them, or even love them, knowing all the time, like my fingers or my hand, I'm the perceiver. I'm not that emotion. And this single insight changed my relationship with not only depression and anxiety, but with all my mental content. Whatever the mind was throwing at me, it could be emotions or sadness or pain or laughter or joy or happiness, all this content. I knew I can perceive it, but I'm not it. And that was immense freedom. That was the end. Immense freedom from it, from all this content of the mind, of this depression and pain and fear. And even if they arose, and they did arise over the years, it was not that they never arose, they came. But I had developed the capacity to observe them, to know that I am the sky, this vast sky, and this depression and thoughts or whatever comes up, the mental content, they're just like clouds. They appear and disappear. Only when I'm invested in them and I'm resisting them and wanting to go away, and I have all these egoic demands, that's when they become troublesome. Otherwise, they just come and I give them space to arise and they go away. So, for me, the two radical approaches which helped me in my long fight with anxiety was first, the constant demand to run away from it, the constant demand to change the present moment, how I feel, into something else, either modifying it or escaping it. That demand, I dropped that demand completely. I said, whatever arises, whatever comes in, I'll give it space, I'll accept it, I'll watch it. And that was half of the battle won because there's no more conflict now. What is, I'm okay with it. Even though I'm not happy, I'm okay. I say it's okay for this to arise. The second step was moving beyond that and saying, okay, instead of labeling all these things as negative, as something bad, as something I don't want, can I invite it? Can I be friends with it? Can I even love it? What's so wrong with it? Why am I so afraid of it? It's just a feeling, it's just an emotion, it's just a thought. And finally, all this led me to my final insight that, and though I knew this thing in my spiritual path, people have talked about the Zen masters, mindfulness, Advaita, they have talked about this thing, that you're not your feelings, you are the perceiver. Whatever perceivable is not you. Your consciousness, the content of your consciousness is not you, they're different. But when you realize that inside, it takes on a different meaning. And through this process, I was able to realize that the content of my mind was different than me. It was only when I identified with it that it became troublesome.
Thank you for listening. You can find more information about Rajiv on his website, innerspiritualawakening.com. You can also email him on Rajiv, RAJIV, at innerspiritualawakening.com.